Welcome to Relation Tales. Please like this video and subscribe Relation Tales. We're grateful for each and every one of you. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let's begin. The first sign wasn't a lipstick stain on a collar or a secretive phone call. It was something far more ordinary and far more dangerous because of it. On a frigid Saturday morning in January, Logan Carter stood by the front door, struggling to fit his thick boots over his socks. His breath fogged the air, and the world outside shimmered with ice. He tugged on his coat and called up the stairs. "Jasmine, I'm headed out to swap the tires. Need anything while I'm gone?" A muffled "No, babe, I'm good," floated down. He smiled faintly. 6 years married, 2 kids, a cozy house in suburban Denver. They were the kind of couple people envied. Logan loved her, had fought for her, had built their life brick by brick. He kissed his gloved fingers and tossed the kiss upstairs before stepping outside. The car, a silver Honda Pilot, Jasmine's baby, was already warming up, the engine humming softly. He slid into the driver's seat and smiled at the seat heater burning on high. She always forgot to turn it down. Swapping the tires wasn't glamorous, but Logan didn't mind. Taking care of the little things made him feel connected to her, to their marriage. By the time he returned from the garage, Jasmine was dressed to head out, her brown hair tumbling in soft waves over her jacket. "Going to the mall," she chirped, grabbing her purse. "Need anything?" Logan shook his head, watching her slip away like smoke between his fingers. "Don't max out the cards," he teased. She laughed lightly, kissed his cheek. The kiss felt quick, distracted, and left. The house felt too empty after she closed the door. But Logan wasn't worried. He trusted her. He threw himself onto the couch, switched on the game, and tried to enjoy his rare few hours of silence. Except, something gnawed at him. Later, thinking he'd left his sunglasses in her car, he went to retrieve them. As he opened the door, a chill ran down his spine, not from the cold, but from something his brain noticed instantly. The passenger seat heater was on, warm, recently adjusted. The seat itself, pushed back, legs stretched. Someone else had been there. Logan's stomach turned. Jasmine never needed the passenger heater when she drove alone. And she was short. The seat never needed sliding back. His hand hovered on the gear shift as 100 scenarios flashed through his mind, none of them innocent. "Breathe, Logan. Don't jump to conclusions." He walked back inside, sunglasses forgotten. Jasmine was at the kitchen sink, humming as she washed a coffee cup. "Hey," he said casually, heart pounding. "Did you meet up with someone today?" She stiffened. It was tiny, the kind of thing you'd miss unless you were looking for it, but he caught it. A flicker of hesitation before she said, "No." "What?" "No reason," Logan said, forcing a chuckle. "Just figured maybe you bumped into a friend." "No, just me." She chirped again, too brightly. Too fast. Logan smiled and kissed her temple. Then he excused himself to the basement, saying he had tools to organize. Down there, among the smell of old paint and dusty cardboard, he let the storm inside him rage. Had she started? He remembered, God, how he remembered, how he had acted once, years ago in a different life, before Jasmine, before he thought he deserved to be happy. Long ago, he'd been the betrayer. In his early 20s, Logan had been married to Alyssa, a woman who loved him blindly. He had been young, stupid, restless. The affair with a co-worker, casual, exciting, meaningless, had destroyed everything. He hadn't been caught through texts or secret meetings. No, it was the little things that gave him away. The distracted glances, the forgotten anniversaries, the sudden bursts of anger at nothing. Alyssa had trusted him, until she didn't. When she confronted him, he denied it, over and over, until the night she placed a manila envelope on the kitchen table. Photos, hotel receipts, a look of deadness in her eyes. Their marriage died in silence after that. Logan left town, started over, built a better version of himself. When he met Jasmine, he swore he would never hurt anyone that way again. Never. But now, staring at the basement wall, he realized the signs were all too familiar, just mirrored back at him. And he wasn't the one cheating this time. He spent the evening watching Jasmine, the nervous energy, the quick texts under the table, the way she startled when he walked into a room. Something was wrong. Something was horribly wrong. The next morning, they sat across from each other at breakfast, their kids, Oliver and Sadie, chattering away about cartoons and pancakes. Logan sipped his coffee, studying her face. She smiled too easily. She laughed too loudly. And when she met his gaze, there was something guarded in her eyes. A secret, a growing, toxic secret between them. And Logan realized, with a cold certainty, that he needed to know the truth. He owed it to himself, and to the man he had fought so hard to become. By Monday, Logan couldn't take the guessing anymore. He sat at his desk at work, a mid-level marketing firm tucked in downtown Denver, staring blankly at his screen as the same spreadsheet blinked back at him. His co-workers bustled around, phones rang, conversations hummed, but he was somewhere else entirely. Inside his head, repeating that split second of hesitation on Jasmine's face. That too warm passenger seat, that shift in her laugh. It was like a bone he couldn't stop picking at. At lunch, instead of joining the team for tacos down the street, Logan slipped into a quiet booth at a dingy coffee shop and pulled out his phone. He scrolled through the list of private investigators, heart thundering. His finger hovered. Am I really doing this? He thought about Oliver's toothy grin, Sadie's little hand wrapped around his pinky when she slept, the home they built, and Jasmine, the woman he thought he knew. If there was even a chance something was happening behind his back, he had to know. He had to fight. He tapped the contact for Seth Radcliffe Investigations and sent a short, tense text. Need to meet. Urgent. Discretion required. 5 minutes later, a reply buzzed back. Come by 3 p.m. Back entrance. No names at the door. Logan stared at the message, his palms sweating. It was beginning. At exactly 3, Logan parked 2 blocks away and walked briskly to the plain gray building. The back entrance was tucked between an alleyway and a boarded-up diner. No signs. No windows. Only a buzzer, which he pressed with shaking hands. The door cracked open, revealing a broad man in a worn leather jacket and jeans, mid-40s, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. You must be Mr. Carter, the man said, glancing at a clipboard. Yeah, Logan muttered, glancing over his shoulder. Relax. No one's watching. Come on in. The office smelled faintly of stale coffee and old carpet. A fan ticked in the corner, stirring papers on a battered desk. I'm Seth, the man said, extending a hand. You want to tell me why you're here, or you want to guess? Logan swallowed hard. My wife, Jasmine. I think something's happening. I need proof. Seth nodded slowly, as if he'd heard those same desperate words 1,000 times. All right, first things first. You're not crazy. Trust your gut. People lie. Patterns don't. Logan felt something sharp and heavy settle inside him. Give me details, Seth said, pulling out a notebook. Logan told him everything. The mall trip, the passenger seat, the hesitation, the changed routines. He even confessed his own past sins, his fear that somehow history was punishing him. Seth listened, occasionally scribbling notes, his face unreadable. When Logan finished, Seth leaned back. Here's the deal. Surveillance isn't cheap. I need a retainer up front, $5,000. I'll put 2 guys on her. Discreet. If there's something going on, we'll catch it. If there's not, you'll have peace of mind. Win-win. Logan hesitated only a moment before pulling out his checkbook. Some things were worth fighting for. Some truths you had to bleed for. That night, Logan couldn't eat. He barely touched his burger as Jasmine chatted about work, her voice smooth, practiced. Oliver giggled at his own joke. Sadie colored on the placemats. And all the while, Logan felt like an outsider in his own life. He watched Jasmine wipe Sadie's mouth with a napkin, her fingers tender, her smile maternal, and he wondered, how long have you been lying to me? 3 days later, Seth called. Got something you need to see, he said simply. Logan drove to the office in a fog, heart in his throat. Inside, Seth pulled up a grainy video on a battered laptop. Logan leaned in. There was Jasmine, unmistakable, even in low res, sitting at a corner booth at Pier 19, a seafood restaurant they used to go to on anniversaries. Across from her sat a man Logan recognized instantly. Cole Mercer, her manager. Tall, athletic, handsome in a rugged, cocky way. The man who had always been just a friend. The video showed them leaning closer and closer over plates of untouched food, their hands brushing, Jasmine laughing too hard at something he said. At one point, Cole reached out and tucked a stray strand of hair behind Jasmine's ear. Her cheeks flushed pink, and she let him. Logan stared at the screen, his fists clenching. This was Tuesday night, Seth said quietly. After her late meeting. We got more if you want it. Texts. Calls. We can dig deeper. Logan leaned back, his chest hollow. No, he rasped. I've seen enough. But he hadn't. Not really. Because betrayal wasn't a single knife. It was 1,000 tiny cuts you didn't even feel until you bled out completely. The next morning, Logan got up early, packed lunches, ironed the kids' clothes, kissed Jasmine goodbye as she left for work. He smiled. He played the perfect husband. Inside, he was planning something darker. Something that would make her regret ever thinking he was weak. The hardest part wasn't pretending he didn't know. It was looking at her, laughing, hugging their kids, lying beside him at night, and wondering how much of it was real. Logan moved like a ghost through their house that week, getting the kids ready for school, helping Jasmine fix the broken porch light, smiling at neighbors, and all the while building a storm inside him. He wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. Not until he had something bigger planned. Something she wouldn't see coming. If Jasmine had forgotten what loyalty meant, Logan would remind her, in a way she would never forget. On Thursday, after the kids were in bed, he sat alone in the living room, the only sound the soft ticking of the grandfather clock. He opened his laptop, heart racing, and created a new email address under a fake name, Michael Graves. Then he composed an email. Subject: Opportunity for advancement. Message: Dear Jasmine, we've noticed your impressive performance at Crescent Marketing. We'd like to offer you a private interview for a senior role at a boutique firm expanding operations into Denver. Discretion required. Reply if interested. He attached a fake LinkedIn profile he'd made for Michael Graves, complete with endorsements, a company website, and a list of fake executive clients. The bait was set. He hit send and leaned back, staring at the ceiling. The next evening, Logan watched as Jasmine tapped away at her phone while stirring spaghetti sauce. Her eyes lit up, a smile flickering at the corners of her mouth. She didn't say a word, but Logan knew. He had her attention now. Meanwhile, Seth kept feeding Logan intel. More pictures, more videos, more lies. Jasmine wasn't just meeting Cole Mercer for lunches anymore. Twice, Seth's men caught them walking out of a hotel lobby, 20 minutes apart, no luggage in hand. There was no video from inside, but Logan didn't need proof anymore. He knew. She was his wife in name only now. And Cole was about to pay for it too. 1 week later, Jasmine sat at the kitchen table, clutching a printed email in her hand. Logan, she said, her voice bubbling with excitement. You're not going to believe this. I got a job offer. He raised an eyebrow, playing dumb. Yeah. She nodded, her cheeks flushed. A senior marketing strategist position. Twice the salary. I mean, it came out of nowhere, but they said they've been watching my progress. Logan chuckled. Guess you're finally getting what you deserve, he said smoothly. Jasmine laughed and tucked the paper away in her purse. The trap was sprung. That weekend, Logan made a show of planning a romantic getaway for their anniversary. He booked a luxury cabin 2 hours out of town. Gorgeous mountain views, hot tubs, wine tastings nearby. He told Jasmine it would just be them. A break from the chaos. Time to reconnect. She agreed eagerly. What she didn't know was that Seth's team was already in place. Microphones, cameras, hidden GPS trackers. Logan wasn't just going to catch her lying. He was going to catch her destroying herself, without ever raising his voice. Friday morning, Jasmine packed her cutest outfits, her best makeup, her lacy nightwear. But Logan knew the real reason she seemed giddy wasn't the romance. It was the second phone hidden in the side pocket of her purse. A burner phone. One Seth's tech guy had cloned 3 days ago. Logan had already seen every text she sent to Cole. He has no idea. I'll sneak away after dinner. Meet me at the Ridgeview Motel. Logan memorized every word, every lie, every vow broken, and he stayed silent. They arrived at the cabin mid-afternoon. The sky was streaked with sunset, casting everything in a perfect, fake gold. Inside, Jasmine was affectionate, almost too affectionate, kissing his neck, laughing, pouring them wine. Guilt was a strong aphrodisiac, Logan thought grimly. He played along. He kissed her back. He laughed. He poured more wine. He watched her phone buzz, once, twice, and saw the hesitation in her smile. Around 9, she pretended to be tired. Long day, she yawned, faking a stretch. Mind if I just crash early? Logan smiled warmly. Of course. Get some rest. She kissed him goodnight, disappearing into the bedroom. Exactly 6 minutes later, Logan watched through the upstairs window as Jasmine crept out the back door. Her car headlights slashed the dark, and just like that, she was gone. Logan leaned back in the leather armchair, sipping his whiskey. Outside, Seth's men were following her. Inside, the house cameras recorded everything. Tonight, Jasmine would think she was clever, sneaking off for one more taste of forbidden love. But when she came back, Logan would be gone, and everything she thought she had would be gone with him. The trap was perfect. It was well past midnight when the front door creaked open. Logan sat silently in the dark living room, a single lamp casting a pale pool of light across the floor. He didn't need to check who it was. He could smell her perfume before he even heard her shaky breath. Jasmine crept inside, heels in one hand, hair tousled, lipstick smudged, her coat clutched tightly around her. She looked around nervously, thinking the house was asleep, thinking her secret was still safe, thinking she had gotten away with it. "Good night," Logan asked quietly from the shadows. Jasmine froze. Her purse slipped from her fingers, hitting the wood floor with a thud. Her head whipped toward him, eyes wide, mouth opening and closing like a fish gasping for air. She stammered, her voice cracking. "I couldn't sleep. Went for a drive to clear my head." Logan rose slowly, crossing the room one step at a time. He held out his phone, the screen glowing. A video played. Jasmine, pulling into the Ridgeview Motel parking lot. Jasmine, opening a room door with Cole Mercer already waiting inside. Jasmine, smiling, laughing, disappearing into the room. "You looked real peaceful for someone clearing her head," Logan said, voice razor sharp. Jasmine's face crumpled. "Logan, please," she whispered, tears filling her eyes. "It wasn't what you think. It never is," he cut her off coldly. "Tell me, was this your first time? Second? Or have you lost count already?" She broke down sobbing, dropping to her knees. "I made a mistake," she gasped. "It just happened, Logan. It meant nothing." He laughed, the sound hollow, bitter. "Nothing," he echoed. "You sold out 6 years of marriage, 2 kids, a family, for nothing?" Jasmine crawled toward him, desperate, pathetic. "It was just the tension. I didn't mean for it to get this far," she wept. "You were always busy, tired, distant. And you think this," he sneered, waving the phone in her face, "makes it better?" Jasmine collapsed fully, her forehead touching his shoes. "Please," she choked. "Please don't leave me. I'll do anything. I'll fix it. I'll cut him off. I'll go to therapy. I'll quit my job. Just don't break up our family." Logan stared at her for a long, painful moment. This woman, the one he had trusted with his soul, the one he had built a life for, the one who would have gladly destroyed it all for a few cheap thrills in a hotel room. He bent down, lifted her face roughly, and forced her to look at him. "No," he said, his voice a whisper of pure ice. "You don't get to break us and still keep us." He let her go. He stepped back, and then he told her the final piece. "I knew 2 weeks ago," he said. "The seat heater. The seat moved. Your lies about them all. The dinners. The phone calls." Jasmine sobbed harder. "I watched you sneak around. I watched you lie. I even saw the lingerie you hid behind the coats." Her face went deathly pale. "You thought you were clever. You thought you could play both sides." He pulled an envelope from his jacket and dropped it onto the coffee table. Inside, copies of the motel security footage, screenshots of her burner phone texts, bank statements showing secret withdrawals. Her life, burning on paper. "I already spoke to a lawyer," Logan said calmly. "This cabin, it's in my name only. This house, I bought it before we got married. The prenup you signed, still valid." Jasmine blinked, dazed. "You'll get nothing but your car, your clothes, and supervised visitation." Her lips trembled. "Logan, don't, please. You made your choice the second you climbed into that motel bed." He stepped back toward the door. "By the way," he added cruelly, "you're free to be with Cole now." He smiled, a cold, dead thing. "Good luck. He's already under investigation for sexual harassment. HR's been getting anonymous tips all week." Jasmine collapsed fully, screaming into the carpet. Logan didn't look back. Not even once. He walked out into the icy night, the stars blazing above him, each breath burning his lungs with cold. But for the first time in weeks, he could finally breathe. Logan didn't check into a hotel. He didn't call a friend. He drove 2 hours back to Denver and sat alone in a small diner, nursing black coffee until dawn. The life he had known was over. But somehow, somewhere deep inside the wreckage, a new life was waiting. And this time, it would be built on something unbreakable. The news spread fast. By Monday morning, Jasmine's name was being whispered through Crescent Marketing's hallways. Not because of her promotion, but because HR had opened a formal investigation into Cole Mercer. Someone had leaked the Ridgeview Motel surveillance tapes. Someone had copied every flirtatious text between Cole and multiple employees. And when HR pulled Jasmine in for questioning, she crumbled. She confessed to her emotional affair, the inappropriate meetings, the deceit. Cole was fired immediately. Jasmine, suspended indefinitely, pending review. At home, Logan moved quietly. He packed his things while Jasmine stayed locked in a master bedroom, crying nonstop. She tried calling him, texting him, apologizing, begging. Logan didn't answer. He wasn't angry anymore. He wasn't even hurt. He was free. The divorce papers were served on Thursday. Clean, cold, professional. Jasmine signed without a fight. She knew there was no more bargaining left to do. Weeks passed. Logan stayed in a rented apartment on the edge of the city. Small, simple, but full of light. He saw Oliver and Sadie on weekends, smiling, laughing, happy. No bitterness between him and the kids. He made sure of it. They were innocent. They deserved better than the wreckage Jasmine had left. One rainy Sunday, Logan sat at a coffee shop, watching cars blur by the window. His phone buzzed. A message from Seth. Cole's facing charges. Jasmine lost her job. Told you. Patterns don't lie. Logan smiled faintly. Not out of cruelty, but because justice had a sound. And sometimes, it was as quiet as a vibrating phone in your hand. By spring, Logan met someone new. Her name was Elena. A teacher. Soft voice. Kind eyes. No secrets. They took it slow. He wasn't ready for promises yet. But when Elena smiled at him, genuinely, openly, Logan realized something important. Not everyone lies. Not everyone leaves. Some people stay. Some people build. Brick by brick. The right way. As he drove home that night, the city lights twinkling around him, Logan rolled down the window, letting the cool wind hit his face. There was pain behind him. Betrayal. Loss. But ahead, nothing but open road. And this time, he wasn't looking back.